You know him from Star Kid and all this stuff.
I agree with that.
His name's Will Branner. Will, are you around here somewhere?
Oh yeah, what's up? I was just freshening up.
Will Branner is an actor previously known for his roles in Bat Out of Hell the Musical and the Mean Girls National Tour, as well as some regional shows that include Tony from West Side Story. But now I think Branner is mostly recognized for playing 3D in Back to the Future the Musical, and the role I'm going to talk about today, Max Jaegerman in Star Kid's Nerdy Prudes Must Die. Nerdy Prudes is a show filled with an amazing cast of diverse characters and extremely talented actors. But I know that for me and many others, Max stole the show, and I believe that Branner's acting is one of the biggest reasons as to why. In this video, I plan to dissect Branner's performance, and uncover exactly how he brought this character to life. Twice. Now before I start talking about Will, I want to focus on Max Jaegerman for a second. I feel that in order to see how the performance transforms the character, we first have to analyze the most basic idea of Max Jaegerman on paper. Now I tried to find a vague character description provided by Star Kid themselves, but I came up with nothing. So if there's something I missed, please let me know, but I decided that I had to find the next best thing, which was a fan-written description. I didn't want to write one myself to avoid bias, so instead I went searching the internet for the most basic character description of Max Jaegerman that I could find. After a bit of digging, I stumbled upon the website Versus Battles Wiki, a collection of a multitude of characters from thousands of different pieces of media, which writes out their stats and powers in detail. The pages also include short summaries of who the character is and their story. The summary for Max Jaegerman reads as follows. Once an aggressive jock who terrorized the halls of Hatchetfield High, Max met his end after falling through the floor of the Laughter House. However, he soon returned to the world as a vengeful spirit, hell-bent on killing all the nerdy prunes, mainly the ones who accidentally caused his death. Now this description is obviously flawed, mainly the Laughter House and nerdy prunes, but we can still garner what the author actually meant. Except for Laughter House, I think that was supposed to be Laughterhouse, but that's not even where he died, so I don't know where that came from. Anyway, with a few tweaks, this is the basic character description that we'll be using to compare to the Max we see in the show. Once an aggressive jock who terrorized the halls of Hatchetfield High, Max met his end after falling down the stairs of the Wayland place. However, he soon returned to the world as a vengeful spirit, hell-bent on killing all the nerdy prudes, mainly the ones who accidentally caused his death. This description fits nicely with how I, and I imagine many of you, would describe Max Jaegerman in the most basic way possible. A mean jock who dies and then comes back as a ghost in an effort to get revenge on those who caused his demise. This is the character of Max Jaegerman in his most basic form. Now it's time to compare this idea of Max to how Will Branner chooses to portray the character on stage. As I said before, Will Branner's dynamic performance brings Max Jaegerman to life in a way that makes you love and hate him at the same time. Will sits on the edge of endearing and terrifying the entire show, which is what I think makes Max such a compelling character. Before he even comes on stage, Max is set up as this unforgiving monster by the nerds. He rules the school with an iron fist, and he'll crush anyone that stands in his way. But the first time we see Max, he's not exactly what we expected. Yeah, he's obviously very mean and aggressive and powerful, but he's also this bumbling idiot. He talks with this weird surfer dude adjacent accent and prances around the stage as if he's a cartoon, making a spectacle of himself. This animated physicality was such a great choice for Max, and one of the first things I noticed while watching Nerdy Prudes. The way he operates is so extravagant and exaggerated. It adds to the whole stereotypical dumb jock thing that Max is supposed to represent. Will is simultaneously making fun of this type of person while also embodying them. His vocal performance reinforces this, and I don't just mean his amazing singing voice.
Who will pray for me when I'm gone? Or is this the eternal dark without a dawn?
The way Max talks also adds to this bumbling idiot rhetoric. He can't say certain words properly, and the aforementioned weird surfer dude accent thing.
Oh, well, there's a difference between intent and impact.
Hey, Grace. Shut the fuck up, Jason! Oh, are you kidding?
Reinforces the idea in our heads that this dude is just like the bullies we see in all the movies. He's stupid, he's mean, and once the nerds get together and ruin his reputation, he won't be a threat anymore. But even with all of this himbo energy that Max has, he's still terrifying. His stupidity doesn't negate his power. The scene where he beats up Pete is haunting and goes to show that Max truly is a force to be reckoned with. No matter how stupid he dances or how strange his laugh sounds,
Spunk!
he is in charge and always will be. Will Branner is so good at switching from this silly caricature of a dumb jock stereotype to a truly dangerous villain. In the Pasquale's parking lot, this scene starts as a silly, goofy moment between Pete and Max. Max is being dumb, Pete's being a loser, ha ha ha. But then Max gets serious. He gets mean and aggressive and oppressive. Branner will always remind us that Max Jaegerman isn't just comedic relief. He's the big bad. A bigger bad than anyone could have ever predicted. After the nerds attempt to get their revenge on Jaegerman, accidentally killing him in the process, Max comes back as this ghost zombie demon thing, and he's more powerful than ever. Will Branner decides that Undead Max is going to turn everything we saw from Act 1 up to 100%. Now Max is the most cartoonish we've ever seen him. During the song Nerdy Prudes Must Die, he acts even more flamboyant and stupid than before. But at the same time, he also becomes that much more menacing. Will plays this dichotomy perfectly. His state switches even quicker than before. Instead of a slow burn over an entire scene, Max goes from goofy to enraged in an instant. Similar to Act 1 Max, Undead Max's physicality informs so much about his character at this point. Max starts to resemble a wild animal more than anything human. Branner hunches over and keeps either a grimace or a mocking smile on his face. Max is now feral, carnal, and prioritizing his most primal desires. He becomes a hulking figure in the shadow, constantly stalking his prey. Aside from all the big, over-the-top moments that Will plays well, the small and quieter scenes are played even better. Will Branner's facial acting when we get up close and personal is one of my favorite parts of his performance. He communicates thoughts, emotions, and entire character traits through one facial expression. One of my favorite examples of this is when Steph reveals that the nerds were just trying to prank him at the Wayland house.
It's all a prank. A trick to scare the shit out of you. Because you deserve it.
What? You're telling me you nerds put this whole thing together just for me? Wow. I thought you guys hated me.
Without even saying anything, Will shows us Max's initial anger, slowly fading into confusion, and then realization. We see a mix of shock and guilt on Max's face as he pieces together that the nerds he's been bullying for years actually care about him enough to put all of this together just for him. We then see a real, genuine smile from Max for the first time in the show. Will showed us all of these complex thoughts and emotions all through facial expressions, which as a non-actor is truly fascinating to me. Another example of this facial acting is during the Who Will Pray For Me moment in Nerdy Prudes Must Die, the song. Credit to Al Hari for pointing this moment out in their own Max analysis, which you should absolutely check out after this because it's amazing.
Who will pray for me?
Who will pray for me
When I'm gone,
when I'm gone?
or until another Richie comes along.
As Max starts to sing this line, he turns to Richie, and his face starts out soft and almost sympathetic, as if Max knows what Richie's about to go through, because he knows what it's like to die in a brutal, horrific way. Not as awful as what Max is about to do to Richie, but I digress. Max's expression then quickly transitions from this softer look to seething anger. He tilts his head down, points his gaze, furrows his eyebrows, and juts out his jaw. This line then ends with an almost mocking look from Max, similar to the one he gave Pete earlier when making fun of his bow tie. It's almost as if Max was getting too wrapped up in exactly what he was saying and what it meant to him, remembering how it felt to die and have nobody grieve him, and feeling sympathetic for Richie in whatever capacity he can in this form. But then he remembered what happened to him, remembered what Richie did, disobeying his status as a loser and daring to befriend the popular kids. He then gets back into character, letting his anger overtake him once again, deciding to toy with Richie even more by continuing to mock him. I think the one thing that makes Will's portrayal of Max Jaegerman so incredibly impressive and makes people like the character so much is Branner's ability to humanize him. Even when Max isn't a human anymore, you can see that Will still has an internal logic as to why Max acts the way he does, and you can tell by his performance. Every physical choice, every vocal inflection, every silent reaction, every quiet close-up moment, you can see that Will Branner is lost in the world of Max Jaegerman. As illogical and selfish as they may seem, Max does have his reasons as to why he is the way that he is. On paper, Max Jaegerman could easily become such a one-dimensional character, just an evil jock who dies and then comes back even more evil. But that's not who Max is, and a lot of that is because of Will Branner. I feel like right at the end here, I need to give credit to Nick and Matt Lang for being the ones that actually wrote Nerdy Prudes Must Die. They're the ones who created this character and wrote his lines and allowed Will to elevate the already well-written dialogue. I also want to appreciate the rest of the cast surrounding him. Everyone in Nerdy Prudes is extremely talented, and some of Max's best moments wouldn't even be possible without the performances from everyone else in the cast. So yes, this video is technically about Will Branner, but I think that this video's existence is a testament to the amazing work everyone at StarKid did when creating the show. All of their passion and intention went into creating such amazing characters and amazing stories. Max Jaegerman and Will Branner wouldn't be able to shine without that collaboration, and I think that's beautiful. Quick outro here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me talk about my favorite Y-Man for however long this video is. Please subscribe or like if you feel so inclined to. I have been very inspired by some other Max Jaegerman analyses that I've been watching. I just felt like I had to get out my thoughts. So thank you for being here, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.